Hello, I'm Xavier Stambro, and so the first user story we will go over, as you can see these tasks are in the done. As the avatar, I want to shoot so that I can defeat my opponents in the level, which I will now demonstrate. You see me shooting, and the opponent destroyed. So then completion criteria, shoot a projectile from avatar, projectile does damage when it collides with another avatar. So I'm gonna shoot now. You can see that it shoots. I'm shooting from avatar, and then projectile does damage. As you can see, it did damage and be able to kill that avatar. So is both the completion criteria for 63. For 68, as an avatar, I want to have a set amount of hit points so that I can be removed from the level when it is depleted, which I will now demonstrate the avatar being removed from the level when health is depleted, which I am now dead. So that demonstrates set amount of hit points and being removed from the level when depleted. And then for completion criteria, when damage is taken, reduce the current number of hit points. When health is at 0, destroy the avatar. So I will show that again. So once I reach 0 health points, my avatar will be destroyed. So damage is taken, reducing current number of hit points, and then health reached 0, which destroyed the avatar. As a cooperative player, I want to exist so that I can defeat the enemies and win the game with the player, which I will now demonstrate. So a friend with the same package can simply type in your IP address, and now it is co-op mode. You are in the same level and game as your friend, and you have the same abilities to be able to defeat enemies and win the game. Completion criteria, a second playable character, which is demonstrated on screen at the current time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua Gibson, and today I'm going to be reviewing my Milestone 1 GDP for Hero. We'll open our build here from Perforce so you can see everything is done in build. The first task that I was assigned with comes under the story. As a player, I want to start the game in a main menu screen. The completion criteria was to create a main menu starting with a work and quit and start button, with subtasks to create a start menu level and implement start and quit buttons on the menu level. If we return back to the game, you can see I have a menu. It has a working level select. If I press quit game, it'll close out. And if I press start game, it leads us into our metrics testing zone. This leads us to the next thing I want. As a player, I want to have a HUD so that I can track my statistics. The completion criteria for this is to create a basic HUD with a health bar, create a visual overlay to display important information, and create a health bar to display player health during gameplay. As you can see on the screen, I have at the top left a health bar up here. We don't currently have health attached to our player character in the traditional sense, so The health bar does not currently count anything. Same with the ammo count on the bottom. While we do have basic projectiles, there's not quite an ammo count implemented just yet. Next up, as a player, I want to be able to pause the game in order to quit or take a break. The completion criteria is to make a pause menu with a continue and quit option button. Create a pause menu. Ensure the pause menu is tied to a button and it opens when the button is pressed. Implement and continue and quit function. As you can see, we have a pause menu. If I press resume, the game continues. If I press main menu, it takes us back to the start. And if we press quit game, it'll quit the game, but I'll save that one for later. Next up, we have, as the player, I want to be able to jump to reach higher parts of the level. This is create a jump function that works on the push of a button. Create jump functionality, assign jump to work when a button is pressed. As you can see, I press the jump, spacebar. Our player does jump. When moving, they jump even further, as shown in this testing level. Whereas if I get a running start, the player jumps further. This is accomplished by creating momentum. As the player, I want to be able to crouch in order to get into small spaces and take cover. This one is easy to demonstrate here with these blocks. As you can see, standing up, I can't get through it. But if I press the control button, I get into my crouch animation and can walk through. I added animations for both the crouch and the crouch walk. And if you notice, speed is a lot slower when crouched. Create this one. As the player, I want the ability to sprint so that I could cover a larger distance faster. This completion criteria is to initiate a sprint via input, create a sprint function, make it work on a button press, and stop on release. Let me stand up. So as you can see, I'm moving. When I hold the button, I go faster. The animation also does change just ever so slightly as I move a little quicker. As a trade-off, however, my jump is not as high while I'm sprinting, though it is a little bit more precise. The final one that I didn't really touch on is as an avatar, I want to move around the battlefield to eliminate the threat. Completion criteria, jumping with space, WASD movement abilities. And as an avatar, I want to exist so I can represent any character in the game. Define the base avatar. In this, I did do something a little different, even though we're using a first-person shooter game. Instead of using the first-person shooting build asset, I actually started with third person and attached the camera, which I will now go into our project so I can demonstrate how. Here we'll open the third person character and we'll look at the viewport. All I did to first of all get the view right is simply move the camera into his face here and attach it to where the camera boom is attached to his mesh. Field of view has been altered and the arm length has also been changed to properly match it. I also inserted some animations in order to make crouch and other various things work. I'll show those in the animation blueprint here. So for one, firmware crouch, we have this. I did set up a script so that our control rotation is attached to the head and is targeted by the head rotation. If we come into the default state machine here, I have the crouch set up, crouch moving, and inside each of these, an animation pre-programmed for each. Thank you for watching, and that was my review.